7 years after I disappeared, my sister found my name on the organ donor registry. She stood in the transplant center, staring at the paperwork in the nurse's hands. Her brows knit as she looked at the photo attached to the file, along with the name I used to go by. "Where is he?" she asked. "He's in hospice on the 12th floor," the nurse answered quietly. "Today is the last day he'll still be conscious. The surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning." Her expression turned cold as she headed upstairs. The moment she pushed open the door, she saw me sitting on the bed, writing my final letter, Landon. I looked up at her and smiled faintly. "You must have the wrong person, Ms. Bennett. My name is Jay Mercer, not Landon Bennett." She stepped toward the bed, her tone rigid. "Come home, apologize to Mason, and I'll hire the best specialist in the country for you. That won't be necessary." I didn't even look up again as I signed the last line of the organ donation papers. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not apologizing to anyone. After a long silence, Sherry Bennett let out a cold laugh. "You really haven't changed. 7 years later, and you're still pretending to be innocent." Her eyes narrowed, scanning me. "You're sick? What kind of illness needs surgery?" I smiled faintly. "Stage 4, glioblastoma, brain cancer." I glanced at the donation papers beside me. I figured my organs would do more good saving people than rotting underground. Something flickered across Sherry's face, but it vanished instantly, replaced by that same icy look. "Cut the act. Do you think playing pathetic is going to make me feel sorry for you?" Her gaze swept over the small hospice room, taking in the peeling walls, the worn folding chair, and the dying flowers by the window. "So life didn't work out after you left home? If you hadn't done those disgusting things back then, maybe you wouldn't have ended up like this." I lowered my eyes to my hands, now so thin, every bone showed clearly beneath the skin. I said nothing. "Landon." She said my old name softer this time, her voice cracking. "Are you really that sick?" I looked at her without blinking. "Why do you care, Ms. Bennett?" "Because I'm your sister." "No." My voice stayed calm. "Your brother died 7 years ago." Her face went pale with anger. "You really hate me that much? After everything that happened? Are you seriously pretending you weren't the one who enough?" I cut her off. "You didn't come here to dig up the past. Say what you actually came to say." She opened her mouth, then hesitated, completely speechless. I gave a soft laugh. "Let me guess. Mason needs a new liver, doesn't he?" Sherry didn't answer. She didn't have to. The way her eyes avoided mine told me everything. I leaned back against the hospital bed, laughing under my breath. "So, that's it. After 7 years, he finally remembered he had an older brother. Today, you came here to ask for my liver?" "Not ask," she corrected sharply. "It's your duty. You agreed to donate before, and Mason needs you again now. He's your brother." I stared at her, amused by how ridiculous she sounded. "Sherry, when you kicked me out 7 years ago, why didn't you remember I was his brother then?" "That was your own fault," she snapped. "If you hadn't done those horrible things to Mason, if you hadn't framed him, I never would have kicked you out." Her voice shook with fury. "You're still lying. Still acting innocent. You think disappearing for 7 years erased what you did?" I slowly closed my eyes as numbness spread through my chest. Even now, she never doubted him. To her, I was always the villain. "Please leave. I need to rest." She grabbed my shoulder hard enough to hurt. "Listen carefully. Mason needs your liver." I opened my eyes, looking at her calmly. "Then he can wait for someone else. My organs are already promised to strangers." Her whole body shook with anger. "How can you be so heartless? Mason saved my life back then. Without him, the Bennett family wouldn't even exist today, and you're nothing but an ungrateful parasite." I didn't answer, only turning my head toward the window. "Landon, let me make this clear," she said coldly as she released me. "If you refuse to save Mason, I won't let you have peace. I'll use every connection and every penny the Bennett family has to keep you alive. You'll spend the rest of your life wishing you were dead." I listened to her threats without feeling anything